Hi everyone, today I'm gonna do a quick lesson about a great song from Led Zeppelin. It's called Over the Hills and Far Away. So I'm gonna just introduce you to the main riff and then a few variations that Jimmy Page plays throughout the song. Relatively easy, there's just some syncopated rhythms and let's go. So this is standard tuning. So the song starts with just this small line. So this is basically using some hammer-ons and pull-offs starting from the third string. You use the third and fourth string at the second and fourth fret, and then finish with the G string played open, and then resolve into the G chord. Second part is actually similar. You start with the same notes at the beginning, and then you do two pull-offs, ending with the D string open. And then you end up with the D chord. You can even leave the E string ringing. So look at also my right hand. Left hand. Now, the tricky part about this riff is not really the notes, but the rhythm itself, because Jimmy Page plays it in such a way that even though it's in 4/4, it seems like it's changing signature. That's how he plays it. Now, to achieve this, you need to leave a pause when you move into the D chord, and not strum immediately, but leave like a small pause so that it seems like it's syncopated. That's what I mean, like. And then you stop instead of doing. So if I was to play this riff as non-syncopated, if you like, that's how I would play it. But the beauty of what Jimmy does is that he puts this pause in between, which changes dramatically and creates this syncopation, and that's how he plays it again, slowly. Now this other variation he includes at some point is it's based on the 5th and 4th string at the 2nd fret. And then he goes back to the G chord, so. Then he resolves after the second time. Instead of going back to G, he goes into a C chord. Now this is basically a C chord with a bass going from C to B, 2nd fret, to B flat. And the C chord is also played with the pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Is an added 9. Then you keep that on, so you do something like this. So you end up finishing in this shape, which is B flat, D, G, D. So again, once again, and then you move the whole shape 2 steps ahead, still leaving the D and the G strings ringing, you know, open like this. So once again, let's try again from the last section where I go into the C. And that goes it back into the first chord. Now there's another variation that he does at some point, which is based on a quick lick between the 3rd to 5th to 7th fret, which is something like that. Now this link is done this way. It includes a double stop at the end, so you start by using like this, the 2nd and 3rd strings, and you do. So it will sound like this. Now this is the variation he does at some point, which involves moving from, which is just a G chord going to a D, you just start with the G on the E string. There's a lot of pull-offs here. And then you finish with the D chord. Then, you know, the first time he does it, then it goes back to the first verse where Robert Plant starts to sing. The second time around, after this, it goes into another chord shape, which is the same as the D on 2nd position, but played on the 9th position, and then back to the 7th position. So it goes. So you do it 4 times, this, and then the song begins with the drums and bass and everything else kicks in. So after doing 4 times this movement, then you do this, which is just changing chords. This is G going to D, D going to A, and then finally back into G.